Hi, and welcome to Science Time with Miss Victoria. This program is recommended for ages 6 and up. Of course, as always, it depends on the science experiment or STEM activity that we are doing for the day. And for this one, the ages 6 and up is okay. Anything younger, anybody younger, parents, they can just watch. So what we're going to do is go ahead and begin. Now, before we get started, as always, you must wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. So if you've already seen the video on our Facebook page or YouTube channel in which I wash my hands to the Ryan Ferb Jaka, I go ahead and do it for 25 seconds. What I do is I do top and bottom, in between, I rub them all together, and I repeat that once slow and then again fast. Once you finish, make sure your hands are nice and dry, and you can go to the next step, which is to gather your supplies. However, I haven't told you what we're doing today, so let's hold off on that. Our last one is to make sure that you have adult supervision just in case. But for this one, you definitely and it's strongly recommended that adults, you are involved in this experiment today. So let's go ahead and move on to what we're doing today and what supplies we're going to be needing. So today we are going to be gathering supplies to make elephant toothpaste. Okay, so there's a lot of items, or you can say ingredients if you want to say it, that we're going to be needing for this experiment. So first, to start off with, you need a plastic bottle. I have my plastic bottle here. Of course, for these experiments, we do use a lot of plastic bottles, so make sure whenever you have drinking water, you might want to save a couple of the empty bottles just in case for one of the science experiments. They always come in handy a lot of times. Next, we're going to need, of course, our dish soap, and this is just near the sink, because if you're doing the experiment in the kitchen, it's right next to you. Okay, that's what you're going to need. Next, we're going to need hydrogen peroxide. Now I have the big bottle, and I got this at Dollar General. You can get at Dollar Tree, any of the stores. If you don't have this already in your first aid kit or in your bathrooms, go ahead and get one. I have the big size. This one's about your 32 ounce, but you can go ahead and get a smaller size. Do not get the travel size. It might not be enough for this experiment, but I will get at least a smaller size than this if you don't get the big one. Next, we're going to need yeast. Now this you're going to find, if you don't have already in your kitchen, you will find it at H-E-B, Walmart. You might even find it at Dollar General or Dollar Tree. They may come in packets. I have also, what I have is a bottle. So you can get the bottle or you can get the packets, whichever is easier for you. You're going to need water, and I also indicate warm. I will let you know more about that on the steps. So let's go ahead and move on. You're going to need food coloring as well, a pan or a bowl, but I'm going to use my trusty container. That's what I'm going to use for mine. A funnel. So here's our funnel. Measuring spoons and a measuring cup. I'll give you the exact ones when we get to the steps. And of course, most important, you're gonna need some safety eye gear, okay? So that's the other thing you're gonna need. Let me get mine ready. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna move on to the steps. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is go ahead and put on our safety eye gear, which I have already on for me. And we're going to go ahead and go to our first step, which is going to mix the yeast and the warm water. Now if you notice on the yeast, we need 1 teaspoon. So in your measuring spoon set, grab the 1 teaspoon. I'm going to be using my 1.5, so I'll be doing this twice. And from your measuring spoon set, make sure to grab your tablespoon, because we will need at least 2 tablespoons of the warm water. So go ahead and get my yeast. And I'm going to use a little cup just to mix them together. The parents, kids can do this part to make sure it's nice and level. If not, you can go ahead and help them with the part, this part right here. Goes our yeast because we don't want to waste that. Now, the warm water. Make sure the water is warm, not hot. Okay? If it's too hot, it's gonna go ahead and damage the yeast, and it's not gonna be. You want it to be active. You don't want to damage it because then it's not gonna work. So make sure it's nice and warm. You don't want it too hot or too warm or too cold. You want it just right. So you might want to, if you're in the kitchen, you turn the hot water and cold water at the same time to try to get a good mix on that. If not, you can go ahead and do what I did, and I just microwaved it about a minute. Depending on your microwave, you might want to do it by seconds, like 30 seconds, to see how that goes. So I'm going to go ahead and get my 2 tablespoons. Okay, let's move that water out of the way and close it. Put that container there. If you're using a sink, just turn off the water. Now we're going to set this aside. And the reason we're going to set it aside is we want it to go ahead, activate, and get foam and everything. So let's go ahead and move on to our next steps. Go ahead and put that over here. Get my container. So you can get your plastic bottle. What you're going to do is you're going to measure half a cup of hydrogen peroxide. Now this part, parents, you're going to be the one pouring into the cup and pouring into the bottle. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put it in here just in case. Set my bottle off to the side there. Go ahead and get our half cup. So you make sure out of your measuring cups you get half a cup out. If you only have 1 cup, then do half that. Put that there. Be very careful and close it. Now I'm going to use a funnel. It doesn't say, but I'm going to use my funnel to pour the hydrogen peroxide into the bottle. This just makes it a little easier because the bottle, the hole is so small. It's kind of hard to make sure that it actually goes in there without spilling all over the place. So we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of the dish soap. Now this varies, so it's up to you. It doesn't matter how many you do, it's up to you. It doesn't have an exact measurement. You kind of just want to gauge it. And of course, if you do too little, rinse out the bottle, let it dry, do it again, and add more if you need to. We're going to go ahead also at the same time add a few drops of food coloring. I'm going to be doing red and yellow. And now once you have that in there, you're going to go ahead and mix or swirl it together. And since I did red and yellow, I'm making orange, which fits perfectly for October. So you want to mix it together. Do a little swirl. Okay. All right, so we're going to leave that there for a little bit. You're going to check on the yeast. You want to see that it's foaming. If you don't notice it's foaming, you might want to leave it a little bit longer. Or you can also restart it and do it and go repeat step 2. You can repeat that again. And make sure the water is a little bit warmer. Maybe it wasn't warm enough. You may have to redo that. Because you want to have a little bit of foam on there. But once you're ready, you're going to go ahead and get your funnel and put it in the bottle. And you're going to go ahead and put the yeast in there. So we're going to grab our yeast. I'm going to kind of swirl it a little bit just to make sure I got everything. And we're going to pour it in. Now once the yeast, since it's active, once it hits the hydrogen peroxide and the water, all that we have inside here, the hydrogen peroxide, the dish soap, it's going to start foaming and it's going to become elephant toothpaste. Go ahead and pour it in. Okay. And it might take a while. But it's going to slowly, if you have enough, it's going to gradually come up. And then if you have a lot of peroxide, you might want to add a little bit more peroxide. Or maybe make sure the yeast is completely activated, because that's what's going to make it shoot up more. But you can see it is coming up slowly. If you have the yeast very active, it'll shoot up quicker. But here it comes. And as it comes out, it looks like toothpaste coming out of your tube when you brush your teeth. So this is called elephant toothpaste. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead now. It should be safe, and you can take your safety eye gear off. And we're going to go. Hope you enjoyed this. It's very fun and quick, but make sure parents, you are the ones that do the step when you pour the hydrogen peroxide into the measuring cup, and of course also into the bottle. Okay? So we'll go ahead and move on. And I'm going to go ahead and provide you with some library resources. All right. Okay, so on this side we have some books that you can find within our library system dealing with STEM and of course science experiments. You can always go to our website, cctexas.com/library, go on to our library catalog, and you can look up whether just going to the search, or you can go to advanced search and type in science experiments, edible science. You can also do STEM. You can also do one that just deals with bubbles. You can do one with food coloring. Just put that in the advanced search and you'll be able to find some. Place them on hold, and of course pick them up curbside Monday through Fridays, 2 to 5:30. If you need more information on that, by all means call the other branches. You can call us and we can give information on that. Just make sure when you place on hold, you do log in with your library ID card and your password, and you place the item on hold, not add to a cart. Add to a cart is just like a wish list, like you're gonna keep them stored until you're ready to place them on hold and pick them up, okay? But give us a call if you need more help on that. On this side, we also have our online digital resources, which are amazing and awesome. We have Access 360 and Hoopla. You can get those links on our website, and you can put them on your desktop and of course your laptop. If you're doing a smart device, go to your app store, download the apps for these two, and you can do the same thing. Do a subject search for science. You can do advanced search and do science experiments, STEM, edible science. Same thing like you would do on our catalog. You can do for these. Place them on a wish list. You can place them on hold. If they're ready to check out, go ahead and check them out and download them. And it might be a little easier because if you get your science experiment a little messy, you can wipe it off your device as opposed to it damaging a book because it gets on the book. So it's up to you on those two, all right? Now, as always, remember to check out our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Corpus Christi Public Libraries. If you haven't already, make sure to like our Facebook page and, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. There you can be able to see all the videos the libraries are providing for you. Now, if you want a full list and a breakdown of all the videos, go to our website, cctexas.com/libraries, click on the link Virtual Programming. On there, it breaks down all the videos that the libraries are providing for you. Now, if you need help on finding some STEM or science experiment books for your child, you can use our new online browsing options, new book alerts, author check, and book newsletter. And please do not forget our great online resources, Access 360 and Hoopla. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye.